Family and community engagement. Lincoln Park Middle School houses over 1,000 students. Of those 1,000 students, over 800 of them are eligible to receive free or reduced lunch. Languages other than English spoken by students are Spanish, Hungarian, and Arabic. Administration in the building is entirely white. The teaching staff is also overwhelmingly white. Less than 1% of the staff is fluent in a language other than English. Only a few teachers are fluent in Spanish, the second most spoken language by LPMS students. There are also several support personnel in the building, but only 2 of them speak English and Spanish, while the rest only speak English. Regardless of our staff's intentions, we all bring our own identities, ideas, conceptions, misconceptions, and expectations through our unique lenses. These biases, ill-intended or not, affect how we view our students and in turn affect how students experience school. Based on this information, my initial action plan included the following recommendation. That recommendation I had was to explore students' personal, family, and cultural histories, specifically taking a funds of knowledge approach. I found it important that our mostly white staff explore students' experiences that contribute to their identities and understanding of themselves. Reaching out to students' families and communities can help to foster a symbiotic relationship where school resources and community resources will contribute to the classroom's wealth of knowledge. Ultimately, using the funds of knowledge approach was chosen to enable me to learn from families so that I can better be able to teach their children. The action plan I included would start with the beginning of the year parent survey available in both Spanish and English. The survey includes questions about potential issues that could prevent parents from becoming involved in the school community. From that survey letter, I plan to identify families that would benefit from additional support and send home a home visit letter. This would include meeting somewhere outside of the home if that is more accommodating and comfortable for the family. Once the family had to agree to meeting outside of school, I included home visit questions that would include collecting background information on the family, regular household activities, and other child rearing practices and/or beliefs. And I included a home visit observation form to collect any observations during the home visit. Gathering information regarding students' funds of knowledge was meant to better equip me for cultural responsive teaching and impact the curricula in hopes to adequately prepare minority students for academic success alongside their mainstream peers. Using this data would help determine areas of strengths and weaknesses in the current curriculum designs and instruction materials to make necessary changes to improve the quality. Cultural responsive teaching requires curricula to be situated within the lived experiences and frames of reference of students, so information is learned more thoroughly and easily. Since creating the action plan, I accepted a new job in a different school district. I moved from Lincoln Park Public School to Trenton Public School District. The demographics of these 2 districts are very different. However, involving parents is important regardless of the school district. The Trenton Public School District has less than 1% of their population receiving ELL services, as opposed to Lincoln Park, which reports over 40% of students as ELs. In speaking with the principal of Arthur's Middle School in Trenton in early August, she noted that parents in the school are very active and involved. Events like Meet the Teacher Night and conferences bring in over 85% of parents. This is very different from Lincoln Park, who, for example, only had 13% of parents attend fall conferences in 2017. The Arthur's principal did note that they have a small population of students coming from low SES households. Of that subgroup, many parents do not often attend these school functions. According to the data I collected, Arthur's Middle School does not have any students who speak Spanish as a native language. This means that the surveys I originally created for my action plan were not needed. I still needed to collect data regarding the linguistic and cultural backgrounds of my students to see if any students had a home language other than English. Otherwise, the survey questions needed to be amended. Therefore, I created a new family survey to provide information regarding students and their families. Finally, I plan to still identify those families that did not feel supported within the school community to look at home visits, meeting outside of school, or, if all else failed, using frequent phone calls home to build better relationships and support my students and their families. The majority of families completed the family survey and questionnaire in a timely manner. Many parents were very thorough and thoughtful in their answers and provided a lot of background information on my students. 4 of the families I did not receive a completed survey from. I tried contacting these families via telephone and email. I did not receive a response from these families. While I was pleased that the majority of families answered the survey, the parents who did not send it back were the targets of this action plan. By reaching out to other staff members, I was able to reach the remaining families by the end of September. Of the 98 surveys completed, 3 parents voiced concerns about not having enough communication with teachers. 1 parent noted that they did not feel comfortable with the counseling department. However, this was due to both counselors being new to the building this year. After identifying parents who had concerns about connections to the school community, I sent home the request letters for an out-of-school visit. While these parents were very pleasant and wanted to fix their issues, all declined the offer. 1 parent did express interest in having a weekly phone call with me to check on their students' academic and behavior. She expressed some interest in meeting outside of school, however, her work schedule didn't allow meetings after the school day. We agreed to speak via telephone Wednesday mornings. Though only making a deep connection with 1 of the parents who expressed concerns from the initial survey, I am proud that I have built a strong relationship with this parent. I also credit our relationship with the students' improving grades as compared to the students' grades in 6th grade. I feel that habitual communication with home and school has provided that student with the support they desperately needed, especially coming from a low SES home. After this experience, I feel a deeper connection to my students and felt it much sooner in the school year than I have in the past. I know completing a family survey is something I will include every year and use that information when creating activities, choosing curricula, and developing a safe and caring community for my students.